work on it in the moment, because sometimes we do delayed feedback, right? But no, this is in the moment. What would you do with me? How would you help me? Okay? So I'll make the mistake. I'll give you 20, 30 seconds to think about it, and then we're gonna go around and you're gonna try to help me with my mistake, okay? And then you'll see why I'm doing this. So, good morning, teacher.
Good morning. Teacher.
I really wanted to tell you, my English is really good, by the way, that yesterday I played with a whole bunch of friends and I had lots of fun. I played a lot with them. Okay? You noticed the mistake, right?
Yeah.
Where is the mistake?
Verb.
Hopefully there was just playing.
Past
Play, okay? So now think about it, 30 seconds. That was me, I walked in, and I said that to you, and you noticed it. There was no other students, it was a good moment to help me. What would you do? Okay, give me 30 seconds, and then you're gonna do it with me. So, but don't tell me what you would do, do it. Okay, so do you wanna go first?
Yes.
Hi teacher, how are you?
I'm fine.
Teacher, I wanted to tell you that yesterday I played with my friends, and I had so much fun.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad you did. What did you play?
I played Jax's.
Yeah. I love Jackson.
I played Jackson, I
That's
played
great.
Monopoly.
You know,
Monopoly.
when I was a kid, I used to play Jackson.
Oh, did you have fun like me?
Yes, I did. Did you study yesterday?
No. Almost no. Yes, I did.
Okay, what did you study?
I study math. No, English teacher.
Oh, great. Will you study this afternoon after class?
Sure.
Okay, I recommend you to review the past tenses.
The past tenses?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember there are two kinds of verbs in English in the past tense? Do you remember them?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Regular and irregular teacher.
Yes. Remember that the regular are very nice, right?
Yes. ED.
Yes. And the other ones?
They change. I have to memorize them. Teacher.
Yeah, you have to study them.
Okay.
Okay. Do you remember how we pronounce the ED ending?
Yes. There's. I think several. There's like. There are different ones.
Yeah, they're different. Yes, for everybody. Would you like to learn how to pronounce them?
Okay.
Okay, come here. There are 3 times. And then you go to the board and I explain it to you. How can I start? I keep
No,
playing
at
Jackson.
the end of that interaction, was I pronouncing correctly? No, I maybe I have an awareness, I need to study it,
Yeah.
but I'm still making a mistake, right?
When you
I want you to-
study it, because I use a verb that ended in Y, yeah, you pronounce it.
But I didn't say played correct. I'm still,
Yeah.
as a teacher, you don't know that I know how to say played.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah.
So for the next, whoever wants to go next, try to get me to say it correctly in the moment. Okay? For whoever wants to go next. I'm such a nerd in my coming to my teacher and stuff. Yesterday I played with my friends and I had a lot of fun.
Yes. What did you do?
I played Jax's Monopoly and Banco.
Your English is very good now.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I know.
Yes. You remember the class we were practicing the verbs in the past tense?
Oh yes, teacher, I studied
It was
this.
very interesting, right? Yes. Do you remember how we pronounce the words like in the past tense that they don't sound like play? They sound like play?
No.
No.
Play it.
Play.
Is that not correct, teacher?
No, it isn't. But we're gonna figure out a new way to say it. So
Okay.
I'm gonna come close to you.
Okay.
Just for you to see how I pronounce it, right? Just pay attention, and that's it. Okay, pay attention. So I pronounce play it.
Play it.
Look at my face and my lips. Play it.
Play.
Play.
Play it.
Look at my lips. Play.
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 Play. It.
Excellent. No, you did excellent first.
What did I do, teacher?
Well, we can practice even more.
Okay.
Play.
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 don't have to slow down that much.
No,
You can
faster?
do it with me. Play.
Played.
At the same time. 1, 2, 3. Play.
Played.
1, 2, 3. Play.
Played.
1, 2, 3. Play.
Plate.
1, 2, 3.
Plate.
1, 2, 3.
Plate.
1, 2, 3.
1,
Play.
2, 3, play. I'm not gonna give it. This is the situation. According to research, actually, and both, I've read this both in research and I've also experienced it. This is not bragging, I just want to put that, the numbers really true. I've probably traveled to about 10, 15 countries where I've worked with teachers of many different cultures. And I've always seen the same thing is similar, no matter the culture. That when it comes to working with pronunciation, the number one resource that teachers use is repetition. In different formats. Sitting with you from there, choral repetition, individual repetition, or they're sent to a lab. I worked in Korea and they had the most wonderful technology. It was the same thing. You put this thing on, you listen and you repeat. The technology was one thing, but it was the same strategy. And again, repetition is not bad. But repetition, according to this framework, and this is one way of seeing pronunciation, according to this framework, repetition happens in stage 3. If a student can already do this, then repetition is helpful. But if a student can't do these two, repetition is frustrating. And that's why I oftentimes tell people, if you're gonna do repetition, do it once or twice. And if after the second time they're still making the mistake, don't continue. Because the problem is that it's not gonna change. The student needs more than that. And what happens, how do you feel as a learner when you're sitting there going, play it, play it, play it, oh my God, what do I do? And you don't know what to do, and the problem is you don't hear what the teacher wants you to do. Just because you say and play it to me, it doesn't mean I'm hearing play. In my ear, when you were asking me, all I heard was play it, because that's what my brain understands. My brain doesn't identify play yet. And that happens oftentimes, and I think this is a lot more common with the sounds that are not common in your language. So here it's helpful that you speak the language of your students. So what are some sounds that don't exist in Spanish that do exist in English? Remember that sound, right? That for me is a sound that's going to need all of this. If it's a sound that exists in the native language, I normally can go straight to repetition because the brain already has it internalized. If it's a sh sound or these different sounds, that's not as common for students to have to do that with verb tenses in Spanish. They're going to need more of this. Okay, that oftentimes gives me a hint as to how much of this they're going to need or not. So that repetition tends to be one of the last things. The first stage is recognition. Now with recognition, the situation again is the same. No matter how many times you repeat it to me, I don't recognize what you're doing. I see this. I see play. My brain doesn't know the sound. So I can't produce it. I can't do it because I don't have it. I can't give you what I don't have. So in this case with recognition, again, I start with the repetition just to diagnose. 1, 2 times. On top of them not being able to say it, I know, because I speak Spanish, I know it's a sound that really doesn't exist in their language. So that's going to also give me a good hint. So I need to do recognition activities. Now, if you have the time for it, a rap session could be an hour. It could be 30 minutes. It could be a quick 5-minute thing. It depends on what you have. So for example, for this piece, I like doing oftentimes a recognition activity. That's, in this case, it's visual and it's colorful. So we know that we have these 3, and students might get used to seeing these, and it's something they either see in textbooks sometimes, or we explain it to them, they see it at some point, right? Thank you, Nana. So do you notice that each of those, let's put them on the floor.
Maybe on the wall, right?
On the wall, we get in trouble. No, just I'm not gonna do that much of them. So notice that we have these, and we have these colors. I'm gonna give each one, and the reason I like to use these sticks, and I like to model with these sticks, especially with you guys, is because they're very cheap. Oftentimes we have materials that we use that we model, and it's not possible for many people in the country. Did I run out of space? I have like 1,000 over here. Have you guys seen these sticks before?
Yes,
Have you used them for something before?
yes,
Besides like home things? I use this in the classroom a lot, all the time I use them.
I use them to eat ice cream.
To eat ice. So are you saying that I
I
ate?
used
In the
them long
past.
time ago for math.
For
when I
math.
was in elementary.
Well, let me tell you that, well, this is not, again, the time
But
of
not the
the
colorful
but we do a
ones.
whole,
No.
at Central's Phenomena, we do an hour session on how to use this in the classroom. The session is just learning how to use popsicle sticks. And I think we've become famous with our popsicle. We've gone we've gone to a number of conferences in Latin America, teaching people how to use popsicle sticks in the classroom. They're for pronunciation, they're for grammar, they're for classroom management, they're for a whole bunch of things. In this case, it's for pronunciation. So here's the thing. I need to see if you recognize the sound, or I need to help you before I ask you to repeat. So here are the three. I'm gonna say a word. If you hear, which one are you gonna show me?
Blue.
The blue. The blue's kind of like my blue.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
If you hear d, which color are you gonna show me?
Green.
Right.
And if you hear, what's the it? The greenish one, right? Again, and if you have students in your classroom who don't see the difference of colors, there's other ways of doing this. This is a visual one. So for example, visited. Visited. Jumped. 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 I jumped off the bus. Jumped.
I have green.
Jumped is the greener one.
These voices, that's why it's not.
Okay, now we're gonna go with created. I created.
This is supposed to be blue.
That's blue. Created.
But it's
Created. 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 Okay. Again, my purpose here is not to teach pronunciation, but to see the idea. Am I asking you to produce a language? And it goes back to lots of things where we do. We start with receptive and we move into productive, right? The same thing happens with pronunciation, but oftentimes our first our intuition is repeat, 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 and sometimes students can't do that. So this is one possibility of recognition. As a teacher, if I see my students doing it correctly, then it tells me, okay, they are not having a problem with recognition, I can move on. If I see a whole bunch of weird different colors going on, that tells me, okay, or you need a different mediation. You need to do something else, right? So for example, another thing, if you don't have colors, you don't have this, another thing could be, I'm gonna tell you a story. If you hear the j sound, you're gonna stand up. If you hear the ch sound, you're gonna wave at me. And if you hear it, you're gonna shake your head. I give it a movement so that it becomes something a little bit more kinesthetic. So when I say, last week I played with some friends and then I visited, and then you have to do, of course you have to train your students so they remember what each movement. That's another way of helping to see if they recognize the sound. It's still the recognition stage. If you want to do it a little bit more, to get more concrete evidence to take home with you to study, I might give them a little piece of paper, and they have the three sounds, and I tell them, circle the one you hear. This is a lot more individual, and it's an assessment that I do. And I might say, okay, if you hear the I played, and they circle the one they hear. And then I take it home, and I just quickly skim and scan, and if I see that they're the right circles in the right place, they can recognize the sounds. If I don't see them, I'm like, I need to do more work with them. And the work is continuing to do recognition activities.
At the end of this activity, will you tell the students which sounds go with D that's in the ED?
Oh, you know, I tell them at the very beginning.
Or before that, I say,
Oh,
okay,
before.
all the words that end with D or T are going to use the green one.
Yes, you can tell them that before, for sure.
Okay.
Anything you can tell them that helps them get there. Okay, once we've done different recognition activities, and you can be creative with that, you can do any kind of fun thing for them to show you. The second stage is articulation, and that's what Lily was doing with me a little bit. Because sometimes I'm like, yes, teacher, I hear that when you tell me played, I hear that it's different. I know that I'm saying a different sound, but I can't go from here to here sometimes automatically. I know it's different, and I keep on saying play it, play it, play, and I know it's different. However, there's a second step that's not happening. I don't know how to create the sound in my mouth. Physically, I don't know how to create the sound. I recognize it, I hear you, and I'm trying to repeat, but I can't create the sound. So if you don't teach me, I can't do it. Some students are very intuitive, some students are very good, and they get it. They get there after so much trying. But sometimes it's really frustrating. Whereas if I help you with articulation, I can get there much faster. So Lily was helping me a little bit when Lily was saying, look at my mouth. That has to do a little bit with articulation. Something I like doing, in any kind of little chino, right, you can buy, in those little department stores, you can buy those little mirrors, and the mirror costs like 5 colones. I always have a little box of like 30 mirrors. And what I tell people to do for the stage sometimes, is I have my little mirror, I give everyone a little mirror, and I tell them people stand up, because I like people to move, and I tell them, okay, you know what the sound is? Look at your mouth. What is your mouth doing? Played, played, and they get to see their own mouth. Played. And I'm like, this might be dumb. They'll laugh for like 10 minutes because they think it's weird, but after they get over the fun part, and if I tell them if you look embarrassed, because teenagers get very embarrassed, go to the walls. Everyone look at a wall, don't look at each other, because they get embarrassed, right? Whatever, right? So played, and they start looking at how to say it. And then the idea is to guide them with the word played, and think about it yourself. Played. What happens in your mouth when you say played? Played. Played. And again, you could be very technical and say a fricative sound and a non, but students don't get that. So I tell people, limit it to only using mouth, tongue, up, down, and that's it. However, I try to do it myself, and I tell my students, feel your tongue has to go to your front or come back, whatever it is that it does, to help them learn how to articulate the sound. Because if not, they don't know where to, and they end up going, and then something weird comes out, right? Now, there's other possibilities. And I wanted to share the one that's more low resources, because that's not a reality of many. If you are a teacher who does have an iPad or a computer or a projector, there's a wonderful system online. I can't remember the website, but if you Google articulated sounds in English 3D, you don't have to do it. It does it for you. Yes. You can project, and they show it like in 3D. They see the inside of the mouth, and the students can see where the tongue goes. So they don't need you to explain it, they can see it. Because with Lily saying, look at my mouth, and that helped, but I cannot see inside her mouth. I can only see all I could really see was your teeth, your lips, right? So that helped a little bit, but the next step would be to get them to do it and explain, or to show something that's a little bit more 3D. Sometimes it's called productive practice, and that's where I start with repetition. Which often, again, repetition can be at the beginning to assess and see if they need this, or it could be, okay, just a banana slip, I repeat, you got it, we don't need to do any of this, right? But after they can articulate, then we practice. Okay, now, let's say it together, people, played. But once I've understood the sound, and once I've practiced how to say it, then I can start practicing, right? There's a whole process that needs to go inside my brain first. And then with this stage, the other piece with rap is the idea is that it may start in isolation. It may start with looking at the single little sound, but it cannot stay there. Because if not, it's out of context. It needs to move into context. I can't learn language outside of context, right? So when we move to the practice, it might be starting, okay, but it needs to grow into context, played. So this tends to go into a speaking activity, where I tell people, okay, quickly with your partner, say 2 or 3 sentences to each other of things that you did this weekend. Okay, I played Monopoly with my friends. Oh, I visited my grandmother. I watched TV. So that the sound now becomes not only into context, but into something that's meaningful for my life. Right? I'm talking about what I did last weekend. So they get to see why it's important to learn these sounds. Okay? Any questions at this point about rap? And is there a wrap up soon to wrap?
Is this technique included on the CD so that we can remember when we are
Doing it.
it is part of the resources
It
we
is,
get?
but there are 2 slides with information.
Yeah?
Not maybe this entire lesson.
But
The state
Did you just record record the whole
Maybe
lesson.
theoretical,
Well, Nico recorded the whole lesson if you wanted to
like a
take this.
theoretical assumption, right?
Yeah, I have a question. Is the program or the syllabus, does it include, intonation patterns?
Yes.
Yes, questions and general questions?
And to refer to that, I did today with you, again, we have a very limited time, but I did an example of sounds. However, rap can be done for anything. It could be with intonation, it could be with sound stress, it could be with word stress, it could be with rhythm. The idea is always the same.
Okay.
I can't ask my students to do a rising intonation if they don't like identify it first. Repeat. I went to the bathroom. I went to
Did you?
right? Sometimes I can. If I'm good, like for example, me, I'm not very musical. You see me with the rhythm. When I learn languages, I need to do this a lot. I can't just jump into production for repetition because I'm not very musical. My ear's not very good with that. So I know I need this. So I need to recognize the same thing. It's for anything related to pronunciation. We go through this process, intonation, anything. Now, the other thing I wanted to share, so we have this little rap. Do you think rap would be the whole class? Could I make rap my whole class?
No, that would be kind of boring.
Of course not,
tiresome.
right? Again, the thing with rap is, and the thing I wanted to share also, is that everything I do in the classroom needs to have an intention that goes into a certain direction, right? What is my intention of doing this mini rap with these sounds? What would be my intention? Improvement?
The students to internalize the right pronunciation of a D and in English.
Okay, so there's definitely the intention of improving pronunciation. And it might also be for the ultimate goal of being able to do one of the can-do statements, for example. I can describe what I did during the weekend. I can share information of what I did last Christmas, right? So part of this, learning this, is to be able to communicate in past tense about something. It's not just pronouncing like what's the purpose of that? No, it's the ultimate purpose of being able to communicate and be able to do something, right, with the language. So it's important not to have that in isolation, but to connect it to your bigger can-do, or to your bigger goal, right?
To communicate more effectively, more in a way, right? Because if you misspell some of those sounds sometimes, I mean, mispronounce them, right? Might be a little confusing for the person who's listening to you, sometimes, right? Sometimes, maybe speaker can figure it out, right?
Sure.
It happens many
Sometimes,
times.
yeah.
Yeah, sometimes, but it depends on what you're pronouncing.
Communication
Communication can be, yeah,
Also, it's very important to
misunderstood.
take into account that, for example, when we have this three, for help, it was very helpful for me to start with two, and then once they get it,
Move on to
we move to the third one, or pieces.
Useful,
And
very
it
useful.
is good for the students, I mean, the recognition, to understand that English is not as spoken as the way it is written.
Yeah, absolutely, which is so hard
It's hard.
compared to Spanish.
Compared to Spanish.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay, I guess I know you have so much more to do.
Yay.
Okay.